Hey guys, Smitty here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. So, as some of you may have seen, I built a massive bridge over the pond. And so, I already did a cinematic of this, but what I want to do today is cover this a little more in detail, just kind of talk through what exactly we have going on here. I also did experiment with a couple different creative ship ideas, so definitely want to show those to you guys as well. But without further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get right into it. This is the Mega Bridge. So this is, obviously something a little bit different. It's maybe not as comprehensive as some of my other builds, as maybe like a town or something like that. But it's probably the biggest single structure that I've built so far. A bridge is something that, it's kind of simple, but when it's executed in the right way, I think it's always really appreciated because there's always just a lot of symmetry and patterns, and really, it's a little bit of math too. So when you build this thing, you got to make sure you get the math right to get the spacing exactly how you want it, and especially with the cables that we used here with the zip lines. If your math's right, it'll create some pretty cool designs. But I think it turned out really well. Again, the cables just, I think, add such a nice touch to it. So what I did here, so I just messed around with a couple different entrance designs. And so one thing that I did is that I've always wanted to create like stone pillars, but at least with the components that we have available right now, we typically only are able to use the full square foundation pieces, and they just look a little thick. And I wanted something a little bit thinner. So what I did was actually I used the different ramp pieces and I stacked them up just so, and then obviously kind of boxed them in just so it's something a little bit thinner. And I think I liked that a little bit better in terms of the profile of this entrance. And then just try to creatively, make something interesting, just playing around. So, but here we are at the bridge. Obviously, the scale is quite huge. Specifically, this bridge is a cable stayed design, where you have, different towers and then cables attaching it to the towers like so. And I did some smaller versions of this, but I really just wanted to scale it up to a full-fledged bridge across the pond, and I think it worked really well. It took quite a bit of time to do it, and that's just because it's so big. So I'm pretty sure all the way across this thing, it was 60 tiles, so 60 squares. So yeah, it just took quite a bit of time going all the way across, and obviously we built it pretty high up as well. But like I said, a bridge is something that's always appreciated when it's done right because there's just a lot of symmetry and some math involved to do it right. So we did 60 across. That means I knew every tower I wanted to be 20 squares apart. And then we were going to alternate with the zipline anchors every other up into the tower. And so because we got the math right, it ended up creating a very nice pattern with these cables. And so I did create this before the 7.0 update. So I guess we could have possibly had just maybe an anchor on the wall or something like that if we had built this after. But I don't mind how it looks or how it turned out. For instance, I particularly like having the zipline anchors here at the bottom because I think it adds a nice design element, and it also just makes it look like the bridge is a little bit more structurally supported with some triangle supports. So I think at the end of the day, I do like how that turned out ultimately. So if we work our way down to the other side of the bridge, this is just where I did some more experimenting with another interesting entrance design. Again, I was kind of set on these different pillar designs that I had figured out. And so I figured I'd try to extrapolate on that. And then, I don't know, just try to do something cool with the zip lines again. Obviously, there's a theme to this build, trying to figure out how to use zip lines to be as aesthetically, pleasing as possible. But I thought that was kind of cool, kind of like some kind of monument or something like that. I don't know. Just, again, this maybe not the most comprehensive build. There's a lot of just experimentation, but just trying to create something that looked cool. Over here, I figured this would be kind of like maybe like a ticketing counter or something like that for the dock and the ship, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. Yeah, so I mean, I put the walls half down and then try to create some floors to create a counter. It's a little bit high, but I think it's still okay. Try to create some string lights back here, which I think look quite nice, especially at night. If we go down here, we just have a dock that kind of leads out to this ship. So if we swim out here, my idea for this ship, and I probably had more fun building the ships than I even did the bridge, just because the bridge was almost got a little bit monotonous, just building something that big, because there was a lot of just repeating patterns. The boat, I got to be a little bit more creative, but the idea here was to create a bit of a steamboat, so kind of one of those old school steamboats. I ended up using the insect lure to create the illusion of steam coming up on the top of it, and then if we go on, these are like those circular paddle wheels that some of them might have. So for the steamboat, maybe the engine's rotating these. I don't know. It's not perfect, but I think it at least still communicates the idea when you look at the profile. But I am pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's a nice switch up from the other ships that I typically made that were, had the sail, just a little captain's quarters where the wheel is, steering wheel. So if we go downstairs, my idea for this would be, this is where they threw in the coal to make the steamship work. So like the engine room, I guess, is what you could say. But I don't know, just another little interesting idea to try to communicate and sell the story of this ship. But yeah, overall, I am very happy with how that turned out. Another creative idea for this ship. I'll probably do a tutorial on how to build this in the future. So this was just another ship design that I was experimenting with, and for this one, I wanted to do some sort of maybe crabbing ship or like treasure hunting ship. Not exactly sure, but I wanted to create the idea of like a crane or something that was like pulling up stuff from the pond down below. So whether it's crabs or treasure or whatever it is, that's what I wanted to do, and I am quite happy with how that turned out. I think it's again another creative concept for a boat. I'll probably do a tutorial on this one as well. But all right, and there you guys have it. So this was the mega bridge build. So something a little bit different, had a ton of fun. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Had some little fun building some different ship designs. But if you guys are enjoying the videos, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks.